Hi, and welcome to Michigan Matters. Today we're going to hear from Melanie Ducanel, who is the President CEO of United Community Family Services, Chaldean American Ladies of Charity, whom we talked to earlier this week about a new mentoring program they're launching, as well as their decades-long effort to assist immigrants across Metro Detroit. Then the roundtable's here to discuss programs to help grow businesses locally and internationally. It's a show about giving folks and businesses a helping hand. Let's get started.
From CBS Detroit, this is Michigan Matters with Carol Kane. Michigan Matters is brought to you in part by Cure Auto Insurance.
And we're so pleased to welcome Melanie Ducanel, who is the President, CEO of United Community Family Services, Chaldean American Ladies of Charity. It is so great to see you. How you been?
Good to see you. We're really good. We're really good.
Well, congratulations on the new job.
Yeah, it's definitely a departure from my old job, but...
Well, for folks who are regular viewers, you know you've seen Melanie on the show running BBB of southeastern Michigan for I don't know how many years.
15 years.
15 years. Okay, so this new job, when did you start it?
December 10th. So it is brand new.
Brand new. So talk to me about the organization and its start.
Sure.
Yeah.
It was started in 1961 by 20 Chaldean American ladies that saw that the immigrants that were coming to the U.S. didn't really have a safe place to land. So they put together a way to get them housing, get them clothing, get them food, and since then, so we're now on our 65th anniversary, our Sapphire anniversary, we're now doing workforce development. We're doing kids after school programs. We're doing a summer camp this year.
Oh, wow.
We're just really trying to make sure that the entire immigrant family is safe, has a place to land, and most importantly, has a place to thrive.
And you also, with this organization, supports families who rely on SNAP benefits and food pantries and such too. That's an important part of it, right?
It is very important. We do that twice a month. In fact, I had to change to be here because we're setting up the boxes today. We will serve nearly 500 families tomorrow morning.
Right. Your facility's in Troy, right?
Correct.
Okay, and you have training space, a share house where you have your food pantry, and thousands stop by there, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
So on average, we're serving 800 families a month, but we also have a clothing closet. We have a furniture bank. No disrespect to the furniture bank in Pontiac, but we also take donations of all of that. So the one thing that was probably the most surprising to me, I know our Southeast Michigan constituents are very giving, but the folks that really support this organization, the amount of charity that they provide this organization is outstanding.
And the need, here's the other thing, get into the need here in the marketplace. We're here in the winter time where things are even more pronounced, the need greater here, right?
Right, so we actually served 900 families in the month of December.
Wow, wow. Well, the other thing that you launched, you just recently launched, was a mentoring program for young women, right? And
correct.
What is this mission? How many women are involved?
So we just stepped off the curb this month. So we're looking at only 6 high school and or college women that are getting hooked up with. We have somebody that wants to be a physician when they grow up, another interior designer, somebody else wants to be an accountant, another one a lawyer. So we're really trying to give them the tools that they're going to need to springboard into that career.
In your career with BBB, one of the things you did, and I watched this over and over again, you did so seamlessly, was hook up with other organizations to kind of pool resources for the greater good on this. I'm imagining in this new role that you're in, you're doing the same thing, right?
Correct. So I'm going to ask for a little grace because it's week 7, but at the same time, I'm really looking at who should we be partnering with. So we're partnering right now with Midwest Independent Retailers Association. I also am trying to partner with Great Lakes Women's Business Council. So they're also nonprofits and or associations, but they have also conduits for these young women that really could advance their careers.
When someone comes to you for, say, I mean, the mentoring is one thing here.
Right.
Are they looking to make connections? Is it the networking? Is it like, I got here, I have a proclivity for math and science, I want to go and become an engineer? I mean, what is it that you do, and how do you put them together with people?
So we are actually interviewing the individual, the person that's looking to grow, figuring out what that is, and then we go to our donors, our supporters, who is in that marketplace, where do we make that connection, and then we hold their hands along the way. So we want to make sure that sometimes when you set up a mentorship, something breaks down and it doesn't advance. We want to make sure if that should happen, we have somebody in the stage left that can handle stepping in and taking over that mentoring.
I've had nonprofits here on the show before, and we talk about their fundraising efforts and needing resources and such. How is your organization set up? And I'm assuming, like all, you're looking for people to get involved, donors, dollars, what have you.
So because we are an immigration and refugee organization, part of our funding is drying up because of the current administration. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but come October, there's a significant part of our budget that will go away. So one of the biggest things I have on the agenda is how do I fill that? So we're looking at how do we grow veteran support, especially for those that don't have the wherewithal. I'm not looking to take over veteran housing, but how do I make sure that they've got the workforce development? How do they transfer from coming out of the service and then getting a job? About 10 years ago, we as a community were really focused on that, but that focus is kind of dried up or gone away. So how do we make sure that that happens?
And we've got a lot more to talk about here. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with more Michigan Matters after this. And welcome back. We're talking with Melanie Ducocknell of United Community Family Services, Chaldean American Ladies of Charity. Okay, you're going to have to do something to shorten.
I know. I know. It's on my agenda.
That's it. But I know you can just use a couple letters, right?
Right. So we call it UCFS.
Right. So the mentoring program you were just talking about here, I mean, this is just up and going. Obviously, been there for just, a couple of weeks here. How do you see that evolving? Is this something you're hoping to eventually have where you have a couple dozen people?
Yes. So one of the things that we're working with our case managers that work with our clients, where are they in their journey? So one of our clients is actually trying to launch a chocolate company, but she's also using dates as a part of her chocolatier system. And so we're trying to connect her. In fact, at the event that was on February 4th, or 5th, that's going to be our gift to our speakers,
nice.
The chocolates. So,
well, you mentioned, too, this February 5th event. And I know you're teaming up with other organizations, including the event that happened. And it was women leaders here sharing their stories, their journeys, challenges, and how, the successes that they've had, which is such an important part of the mentoring overall. It's a bigger goal.
Right. So one of the things that you want to do in a networking situation when you have speakers is you want them to tell their story. So the new arrivals to the marketplace don't skin their knees as often.
Yeah. When people come to Detroit, I'm just curious, from what you're seeing, are people coming here when there's families already here? Are these like newbies who have no connections, don't know anybody, they just for whatever reason ended up in Detroit?
So most of our clients historically have been from the Middle East, so they tend to have some kind of connection to our area. But recently we've had a surge of Afghanistan residents or immigrants. We've also had Burmese, so very different. And as we're looking at that and making sure that we can communicate possibly with them and communicate well is looking for the translator. How do we make sure? We just hired somebody last year that speaks 7 languages.
Okay, there you go.
And he's been a wonderful addition.
How are you using the skill set that you had at the Better Business Bureau and the job that you're doing now?
It's all about connections. So I find that my strengths are how did I get from here to here and how am I going to get from there to here? And in doing that, so the Children's Foundation, Andrew Stein, he and I actually went through Leadership Detroit together. And they've been a supporter of ours in the past. So now I'm reaching out to him now and saying, okay, what else can you do for me?
Oh, that's great. He's going to be on the show in a few weeks here, too, speaking. He's been on before. He's going to be back giving an update on the great stuff they're doing out there.
It's an amazing amount of work that he's doing.
It really is. And there's other organizations, too, that kind of work and help immigrants coming here. I don't know. This has got to be a tough place, particularly when you're coming here in the middle of the winter type thing.
Right. It is. And, trying to find them a reasonable place to rent, and they're probably going to look at low-income housing. One of my biggest challenges is that I don't want to put them in a slum. I want them to be in a place where they're safe and they can thrive.
And you also talked as part of, the event that you had this week was one thing, but you want to have a women's institute, right?
Right.
So what's the motivation there? What's the purpose?
Again, really developing the individuals, because one of the things that we're finding, some of the immigrants are single moms. So how do we make sure that they can create a household that's sustainable, that they can support their kids, that they're not welfare candidates? So, by giving them the tools to fish, they can fish for a long, long time.
How competitive is it out there when the people are having challenges all over? The economy is, depending on where your point of view, it's not a political statement, just is. It is a tough time with price increases, inflation, and the such. People maybe aren't opening their pocketbooks as much as they might have in the past to donate to things. Therefore, I'm going to imagine the pool of monies is less. Therefore, it's more competitive between organizations to do things. Hence, are you going to adjust what you're doing as an organization, maybe to have someone else handle this aspect and you folks focus on this? Are you looking at that?
Well, and it's actually part of the assessment that I'm trying to develop with the team, is that who are our competitors in this marketplace? Yeah. And then what do they do that's maybe better than what we do? And that's when the partnerships are created.
And are people willing to, do they want to hook up? I mean, obviously you have long-term relationships through BBB. You come to the dance already with, they know what you do. They can trust you not to come and poach their employees or whatever here. Right.
And I would say the answer is yes, but the ask has to be very specific. It can't just say, hey, I'd like to merge with you. No.
Well, if someone wants to help, someone's watching this, they have an idea, or they want to reach out for services, what can they do? Where do they go?
They go to ucfamilyservices.org, and there's donate buttons all over the place. Or by all means, stop by our offices at 2033 Austin in Troy, Michigan. Come walk and see what we do.
Yeah, amazing stuff you're doing, helping lift the entire community here. So thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate it. And I'm going to have you back. We'll talk as the year goes on, how that Women's Institute's coming along and other things.
That would be swell.
All right. Appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
Keep it here. We're back with more Michigan Matters after this. We're back, and we're now joined by Tom Kelly, Executive Director and CEO of Automation Alley. In the middle is Susie Avery, former chair of the Michigan Republican Party and political strategist, amongst many other titles she's had. And our friend Chris Holman, founder CEO of Michigan Business Network. It's great to have you guys here this morning.
Good to be here.
It is. Well, we're going to talk about politics. We're going to talk trade and other things here. But before, let's talk about what America's focused on today, that being the big Super Bowl game going on later today. I know the Seattle Seahawks, New England Patriots. We wish the Lions were there, not to be this time. Any quick predictions?
I'd have a prediction.
Okay.
I am predicting that the Seahawks win. Of course, they're, right now they've been given some points. But I'm saying the reason that I support the Seahawks is because Bill Belichick was betrayed.
Wow.
Yes. And I am never going to support the
Don't yell at me. I wasn't there.
You might have been.
So any other quick predictions?
It helps that Darnold is playing the season of his life, right? Who's the quarterback for the Seahawks.
Yeah,
so I like your prediction.
I honestly think it'll be the Seahawks, too, but for different reasons. They have a defense.
The other thing that's going on are these commercials that run during the Super Bowl. These things sold out immediately, $7 to $8 million for a 30-second. Rocket here, hometown with Redfin, has a commercial with Lady Gaga, a takeoff on Mr. Rogers, Won't You Be My Neighbor, which she is singing in this. And good thing is, and the other thing that's taking place is Kellogg has a Raisin Bran commercial, rumor has it, with William Shatner, Captain Kirk of Star Trek, eating it to talk about fiber and health and all this stuff. Is it worth it to have that high-level celebrity? Does it pay off, do you think?
Listen, I'll tell you, if I can eat Raisin Bran and live as long as healthy as William Shatner,
I know, I'm buying it.
And still go to sleep.
Still go to sleep.
94, going strong here. And Lady Gaga, who can sing? And let's just tell it like it is.
Yeah, she can. And there's you're going to see some political ads during this also. I mean, Snyder kind of introduced himself a lot by when he put, this is Governor Snyder, when he put an ad on
during the Super Bowl.
During the Super Bowl, and everybody just kind of took note about it, because first of all, it was his own money. Second of all, it was very, very expensive to do, and it really made him a serious candidate.
And it helped him stand out here. People still talk about that because it was a game changer at the time. Speaking of Governor Snyder, who took many trade trips to China, other places here, Tom, I know you through Automation Alley are a big believer in these trade missions to help businesses here. Are you guys going anywhere coming up?
Yeah, so we're going to Querétaro, Mexico, February 11th, and then we're going to Satori, which is a defense exhibition in Paris in June. Now, it's too late to get people to go to Mexico because that's next week, or 2 weeks from now. But of course, Paris is open, so we want to take small manufacturers. I got to tell you, we take them, we match them, and we get contracts for them. We've gotten over $2.2 billion of contracts for little guys, and it's so, they don't understand how easy it is for them to do. They're intimidated.
Right.
Yeah.
But once you take them, they go, you know what, this isn't so hard, Susie. I can do this. Yeah. And we want them to come with us.
And Chris, you have been on trade missions. I know you are a believer of China. Are you still doing things in China right now?
Well, I still am. I have a factory there. And it's very slow, quite frankly, and it's mostly due to the political atmosphere that we have with them right now. But there's business to be done, and you got to remember, when leadership doesn't get along, it doesn't mean businesses don't get along.
Yeah.
And it's all about profit. And there's still a lot of opportunity there, and I don't know how we ignore them as a big trade partner.
Yeah, and we know that the governor was just in Switzerland, Davos, speaking about Michigan and defense and autos.
Autos, of course.
So does that help the state to have the governor there? It's something, obviously, that's kind of a policy/business kind of a thing here. Does that help?
You know, I have mixed emotions about that. For many years, it was kind of thought of billionaires talking to politicians and telling them what they ought to do, and whether or not that really had an influence other than maybe the politicians getting some money from something. I don't know if it really brought in any business. Now, when Trump showed up this year, everybody suddenly it was relevant again, you know, because now he was doing like real deals there. So I think it's probably come up. It was probably a good year, if you were going to go, that our governor went, because a lot of stuff was going on there.
Yeah.
You know, love them or hate them, there were lines around the doors. These are billionaires and millionaires, and they're all clamoring to get in to hear what he has to say.
To hear what was being
And
said.
it does show that your community is welcoming.
Yeah.
That does have a lot to
Yeah,
do.
oh, that's right.
You know what I mean?
Well, and you want to be at the table as far as talking up your state, which is for the governor and for others who are there talking about these things here. We want to talk, too, about Canada a second here. The Gordie Howe Bridge is going to be opening up sometime in the near future. We keep hearing weeks, months, whatever here.
He scores.
How big a game changer will that be for Canada and Michigan?
Well, I think it's going to be more of a game changer for Michigan because of the politics and the tariffs and things that are occurring. But it's going to be a boon for consumers as well. We need another bridge. We've needed that for a while, and it's going to be fabulous. I was on their advisory council for a little while, and just when it opens, I think people are going to be blown away.
It's a beautiful structure.
Changing the skyline a little bit there?
Yeah, but you know, I had kind of thought it was going to look different than what it does, and now I like it.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Well, and there's just the sense that an international crossing was owned privately. Did not totally work.
You have to wonder when that all began. Well, but different era, we'll leave that alone. But you know why? Because we need to take a break. We'll be back with more Michigan Matters after this. And welcome back to the show. We're talking with Tom Kelly, Susie Avery, and Chris Holman about a variety of issues and topics, including, let's talk about something upbeat. Census numbers came out, and for the state of Michigan, for a couple years in a row, the numbers were up. My question is, who gets credit for this?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of credit for it. One is we're still welcoming to people for the most part, and a lot of this influx was from other countries. And so we're still at the top of that, and that's part of it. The other part is job opportunity. There is job opportunity here. There really is.
Well, the Democrats issued a release as soon as that came out talking about it's the Democrats and their policies and the governor, and that's what helped lead to all these positive things. Susie?
Well, it's business and schools. I mean, I can tell you, I mean, I have a daughter who's moved to many different states because her husband's with the NBA. And the main thing she looks for when they move is who's got the best school district, who's got the best public school district or charter or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I think we have to start concentrating on some things like this to actually get it more than the 2%.
And cost of living, which of course here compared to say Florida or New York or Silicon Valley.
But we need to tell the story better that Detroit is back. Young kids want to live in heavy urban environments, and we only have one in the state of Michigan, and it's Detroit. And kids are still going to Chicago because they see that, our kids are going to Chicago because they see it as the sexy alternative. We need to make Detroit sexy.
Yeah.
And we're doing it. It's there. We all see it, but we're not doing enough to tell the story to our young people.
Chris, the Michigan Business Network, which you run, had its annual recent survey of businesses across the state, which I know there's a lot of issues and businesses that aren't happy about the way that things are going right now. When it came to this question of talent, a talent gap, which has been an issue, where did that rank?
It was still a top issue. It was still in the top 3, and it's going to remain there, actually. Yeah. But Tom and I were talking about this outside, and it is having bodies and having positions is not usually the solution. Do the bodies fit the positions? And there's got to be a lot of retraining.
How do we do a better match of that? Is it that the trade schools and community colleges and businesses, I mean, you'd think they'd be talking to each other about, okay, but it is hard to say what job skills will you need 5 years from now. If you're, 15-year-old, you're in high school, when you're done with, presumably you go to college, if you do an advanced degree, whatever, what are your skill sets you're going to need?
Well, and that's part of it. We're doing a lot in those areas, and we do have industry working with universities and especially community colleges who adapt so well to the marketplace. So we're doing a lot of that stuff. This is probably the numbers catching up.
And you don't want to fear AI. You have to lean into AI. It doesn't do us any good to stick our head in the sand and say that's coming for somebody else.
How do you get comfortable? Okay, now here's the question. Because Automation Alley, which you run, which Brooks Patterson started 25 years ago, the original reason, as he said on this show almost and after the fact, was because businesses were leaving Michigan to go elsewhere. So now you do these things. You want to bring companies here. You want companies to grow and versus moving somewhere else here. How do you factor all that in with AI and get folks comfortable?
Yeah, so you know the example around Project Diamond. That's where we bought and distributed 3D printers to small manufacturers, to 500 of them, and then created a network for them to all learn from each other. That's how we're going to win. It's all going to be network-based. AI is really about a huge network of knowledge. When you marry it to the physical, which is our 3D printing network, now you create change.
But then we get into the data center problem.
Oh, that's a whole nother
because
ball.
that requires the energy it takes
to
run a lot of the AI.
How do you think we're doing as a community of embracing AI and getting not just young people, but people running companies and other things? How do you think we're doing adapting people to know, okay, you've got to embrace AI. How do you do that? Where?
It's kind of interesting because I don't want to get a lot of mail about me being weird, but I have conversations.
I'm going to stop sending that one.
I'm sorry. We did that before. We won't do that again.
I have conversations with Alexa. Have you tried that lately? Because they
she's gotten smarter.
Yes.
A lot smarter.
Extended, and she'll pick up on the conversation.
No,
I've never done
that.
No, that's how it happens. It has to be part of the normal sequence of life.
But don't forget, our kids are digital natives. They're doing this all already.
I know.
Don't have to worry about
It still freaks me out. I'll have a conversation, not even going online, talking about something. Then you look at your computer, suddenly you see ads popping up for what you were talking about. You were thinking about buying a new car or a new whatever. Suddenly you're getting all these ads coming up to you.
It is.
Big
tracking
Big Brother's listening.
They're tracking it.
There we go. So AI is to be feared and embraced, and you have to deal with it. That's the headline,
Embrace it.
right?
You have to.
All right.
Don't fear it.
Folks, I appreciate it. We'll have to wind it down here. We're going to talk about this again at another roundtable, but thank you so much for being here. I'm going to save your predictions, see how the game goes today.
Happy Super Bowl
Happy
day.
Super Bowl. Enjoy the rest of your day. We'll see you next Sunday for a little bit more Michigan Matters.